And welcome to our special holiday winter break edition of Weather and Climate Chat with Monsoon Mike Regensberger and Dr. Michael Davis. How are you, Dr. Davis?
A little warm outside.
It's a little warm, and it's going to get much warmer, actually. This might just be the start. This is being recorded on Tuesday, December 22nd, so depending on when you're listening, just so you know, relative to what dates. And we're probably not going to record another one of these until after the new year because most of us here at the university are off until just after the new year. So we'll try to give you a little bit of forward thinking into January, maybe a little bit. We try not to do that too much because it's out of our comfort range. And we're responsible weathercasters, not like those guys that get excited about a 386-hour GFS model that says a snowstorm on January 10th.
And those bogus 10-day
Exactly.
forecasts that you get from TV.
Right. So we try to not do that, but we'll try to give you a little idea. Well, here we are again, Dr. Davis. I mean, back in the warmth, we had a seasonably cold weekend. Saturday was like the first day that it actually felt, I'd say, like winter with that wind howling, and it was pretty bitterly cold. But as we said, it really was nothing unusual. That's about normal for where we should have been this time of year.
And the average high right about now is about 39 degrees.
And that's just about what Saturday was, so yeah.
And yeah, we were pretty much par for the course over the weekend. But now the next couple of days we're looking at temperatures in the upper 50s, 60s, maybe even in the 70s.
Yeah,
come Christmas Eve.
It looks like we culminate this fun on. Let's before we get to Christmas Eve, let's talk about what we can expect. Right now, today, I'll try to get this podcast up later today. So, being Tuesday the 22nd, but Tuesday was cloudy and rainy, basically from a nearby front that's kind of washing out over the area, right?
Yeah, we have a frontal system that's pretty much slowing down,
right,
and kind of dragging its feet across the eastern U.S. And you also have the subtropical jet, which is coming in from Mexico up the Gulf Coast and then into the eastern U.S. So it's pumping up a whole bunch of moisture and warmth to go along with it. That's why we're seeing temperatures creeping up into the upper 50s, 60s. So, and a whole bunch of moisture is riding right along that cold front, causing an uplift. So chances for some precipitation over the next 24, 48 hours is looking pretty good.
Wednesday, which is the 23rd, also looks a little on the cloudier side, I guess you could say. We have a warm front coming through tomorrow, correct? Wednesday?
Yes.
Okay.
And we probably could have some rainfall as well.
More rainfall.
So temperatures will be warming up, rainfall again, just pretty much the steady ratcheting up of temperature, and the precipitation threat doesn't really go away.
Now, getting to Thursday, which the media is having tons of fun hyping, as you've probably seen over the day. I guess there's no snowstorms to hype, so now we're just got to hype the heat, I guess.
Not really, no.
Yeah.
Not by us.
Right. So they need something to hype. As you know, the media loves hype, so they got to hype this. I've seen words like historical, monumental, whatever, wear your shorts, don't build a snowman, build a sandman. I mean, I've pretty much seen every crazy thing. And amazing consensus. You know me, I like to pull the temperatures from various sources. The last heat wave we had, there was, I use the word heat wave loosely, and not really a heat wave, but you know where I'm going with that. The last spell of unseasonable warmth, we'll say, there was some differences between the major sources. But I looked up Christmas Eve, and guess what, Dr. Davis? AccuWeather, Weather Underground, Weather Channel, and National Weather Service, all for 19530, all saying 72 degrees. So, do you agree with that?
It definitely is starting to look like low 70s. I wouldn't be surprised if we even maybe started to inch it closer to the mid 70s.
I think the further south you go, like toward Philly, Delaware, dare I even say upper 70s possible? 76, 77 is
Let's not get carried away.
Yeah, well.
But it wouldn't surprise me, though, given how this winter's gone so far.
I looked up I know the all-time record high, I believe, for Philadelphia in December. I believe, I have to check this, but I believe it was 74. Reading, though, actually was 77. 1984, I believe, was December 27th or 28th. It was 77 degrees in Reading. Probably won't get that crazy.
No, but definitely get very close to those.
And we'll definitely destroy probably all the climate station records for Christmas Eve, at least.
And as I pretty much mentioned earlier, that the average temperature is 39 degrees for this time of year.
Exactly.
If you get 78, that's double it.
Right, exactly. And somebody brought up a good point online. They were like, during the summertime, I mean, so say if you get, we'll be, so normal 39 degrees, we're going to be about 72. That's a good 49, like 35 degrees above average. Summertime, if we had 35 degrees above average in the middle of July or August, that would equate to temperatures like over 110 pretty much.
110,
Yeah.
115.
So just to put things into perspective on how crazy this is going to be.
Yeah, this is very, very unusual
Right.
for what we're seeing. But then again, we were stuck in the midst of a very strong El Nino.
Right.
But we'll be talking more about El Nino in a little bit.
Right.
But that typically means a warmer northeast. And
Right.
it's certainly held up to the climatological past
Right.
so far this winter.
Now let's talk about. We talked about temperatures on Christmas Eve. Let's talk about sky cover. It doesn't. This is the thing. It's going to be. We think it's going to be in the low 70s, and it's not even really going to be the sunniest of days either. I mean,
No.
we should see a little bit of sunshine more than we're seeing Tuesday and Wednesday, but not going to be the sunniest of days because then we're going to have a cool front coming in from the west that's going to start clouding us up. Right.
Yes, and
Yeah.
also today is also the winter solstice, so
Right.
the lowest that the sun will be in the sky. So even if
Right.
the sun was out,
Wouldn't be out. For
I don't
very
think
long.
it's going to be very productive
Effective,
sunshine.
right? So, so we have a cool front coming through Thursday night, Christmas Eve into Christmas Day, probably like late Christmas Eve, maybe early hours of Christmas Day at the earliest. I use the word cool front because it's kind of a lame cold front. We're going to cool down on Christmas Day, but we're still going to be well above average.
Yes,
Yeah.
we'll be cooling down,
Yeah.
but the temperatures will still be well above average for this time of year.
So we're thinking, what do we think of Christmas Day? Upper 50s, low 60s?
I'd probably go in about that range, yeah.
Okay, very good. And then beyond that, still not a whole lot of winter. I mean, we'll be a little more seasonal feeling, I guess you could say. At least there'll be a little crisp in the air, but it'll feel more like October weather rather than late December weather.
Yeah, we're looking
Yeah.
at like spring, fall temperatures
Right.
for probably till New Year's Day.
Right.
So we're not really looking at any sort of colder temperatures, let alone any sort of substantial snow
Right.
until 2016.
But probably not any more 70 degrees either. So,
No, I don't think
okay. So it'll probably just be that week between Christmas and New Year's. We're thinking 50s, a lot of 50s looks like.
Yeah, we're not really too keen on any sort of like really wild swings.
Right.
Probably either in both directions. I don't really see it getting that warm compared to
Right.
70s till the end of the year or that cold.
Now, if we're looking ahead as for sky cover after on Christmas and beyond, Christmas Day, it's actually pretty good timing because I don't know if you saw Christmas from now until Christmas Eve, not that sunny. Christmas Day looks pretty nice, sunshine. After that, though, looks like with the weekend for anybody doing traveling, not the sunniest of weekends either.
No, we have another system going to be coming in
Yeah.
and bring us a whole bunch of rain.
Yeah,
Fortunately, it's not going to be bringing us any sort of severe weather, which might be impacting
I saw
areas
that.
down the south,
Yeah.
or even blizzard-like conditions across the Great Plains.
right.
Then again, you just have a whole bunch of colder air coming down from Canada and the Midwest and Great Plains. That's all going to be missing us. And by the time that system gets here, that cold air is going to moderate and really won't be that frigid.
So basically, unless you are really a winter weather fan and you are really upset at the lack of cold, pretty easy going for us in our particular area for the holidays. Not really anything too much to worry about, unless you count the rain against us. We're going to have some rain, but nothing severe or anything to worry about that will impact travel too much. Is what I should say.
No, just some pretty much stratiform or
Yeah.
heavy, moderate rainfall.
Yeah.
So your traveling is not going to be that impacted. No major crippling snowstorm that'd be happening right before Christmas or right after Christmas to inhibit travel. We're looking pretty good.
Now let's just talk about briefly about around the country in case anybody's going to be doing any traveling. East Coast, like I said, not a whole lot of action. Down south, it looks like there could be some thunderstorm outbreak of sort. You should be careful using the word outbreak because we're not like in May or anything. But looks like there could be some potentially severe thunderstorms down south the next couple of days.
Yes, you have a lot of
Yeah.
high dew points, so
Right.
a lot of moisture in the air. You have that trough digging in, so it's going to be providing a lot of upper level dynamics. Typically in severe weather, you want to look for where the jet stream's placed and how strong the jet stream actually is. And there's also pretty good what we term helicity in the atmosphere. Helicity simply refers to the tendency for a air to pretty much spin. You can think about more like a rolling log
Right.
in the atmosphere, and that can pretty much signify a good chance of tornadoes. So I wouldn't necessarily rule out tornadoes
Wow.
in some areas. I mean, chances are you're probably not going to have a sort of tornado outbreak, if you want to call that term again.
Right.
Area on your side, but it certainly is not out of the realm of possibilities. And we've had tornadoes on Christmas Day before. It's not entirely unheard of.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
I believe in the mid to late 2000s, there was a tornado outbreak in Florida and Georgia.
Wow.
I always tell that to my students that we're waking up Christmas morning, get all the presents. Oh, gotta go in the basement now.
Yeah. Wow. Definitely an interesting year that we have. And okay, so and going into, we pretty much covered up the New Year's. New Year's right now looks about seasonal. Well, I don't even want to say the word seasonally cool. It's still going to be above average, but not as warm. Looking ahead into January a little bit. Any ideas? I mean, I've seen some rumors online about El Nino starting to break down a little bit, start to weaken a little bit.
Yeah, the El Nino is weakening. It's slowly coming down to more lower, higher values.
So could that equate to a slightly more seasonably cooler January and February?
I would certainly hope so. I'd like to get some winter in. But that remains to be seen.
Right.
Most of the models that I've been looking at, and even the Climate Prediction Center that we just looked at before coming on air, seems to show warmer January for us.
Right.
Now, that's not necessarily going to be, again, 70 degrees, but
You never know.
when you start talking about being above average, maybe 40s,
Okay.
upper 30s. As January start to get down to the low 30s, upper 20s for your averages.
Normal averages, yeah. So okay, well there you have it, folks. There's your Christmas outlook. Is there any spot if say pretend you're some rich person listening right now and you can just pick up in your private jet and go somewhere, and you're really mad that you don't have a white Christmas? Where should we send somebody to enjoy a nice stormy?
You probably want to
Christmas?
go into the upper Midwest, upper plains,
Okay.
maybe northern Rockies like Montana, Dakotas.
Yeah.
Those would probably be the best areas. Maybe even Wyoming.
Okay.
Out there, I have a student that used to go here now at University of Wyoming. He was showing me all these pictures of heavy
Right.
snow in Laramie
Wow.
the other day.
And again, this is typical El Nino stuff where we have the jet stream that's dipping out over there and it's a ridge on our side instead of the other way around. So this is nothing that really is an overly big surprise. Maybe we're slightly surprised at just the intensity of some of these temperatures, but it's the general gist of what's happening is not really a surprise.
Yeah, indeed, the magnitude is very high.
Yeah.
You're several standard deviations above where you should be
Right.
for this. This is almost unprecedented warmth that you're going to be seeing over such a large area of the eastern U.S.
Right.
So the chances of this happening again are rather slim, I would say,
Right.
but whether or not this has some type of factor into global warming is another issue. I've often been asked, is this all related to climate change? And to which I say no, I don't believe you can declare a single event or warm season on climate change, but you're pretty much stacking the deck for future events like this to happen. Whether we're going to be 70 degrees again in December, probably not, but we may be warmer than average in our Decembers moving on in the future. Now, I do think this is probably entrained more with the stronger El Nino event that we're experiencing. That would be, I think, the more logical argument that you can make and maybe show a little stronger correlation between the two. But it's probably being enhanced in some fashion by climate change in terms of this unprecedented warmth that we're seeing.
So I might be using my air conditioner on the way to Christmas Eve Mass in the car.
You very well could.
I very well could. Now, also we should mention, and one thing that we didn't mention on Thursday is that even though it will be very warm, it looks rather breezy as well too. I saw a pretty good pressure gradient ahead of the front. So
You would be expecting that too if you're going to have these really warm temperatures, because those winds are going to be strong out of the south. So it's going to be bringing up that energy from the Gulf of Mexico states like Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee to our area.
So even though we have these temperatures in the low 70s, it might not feel quite like July because we'll still have a pretty good wind going and it won't be all that sunny, plus a very weak sun angle. So,
but if the winds are out of the south, it's not going to be
it's not going to be refreshing.
Bone-chilling wind chill.
It's not going to be refreshing. It's still going to feel very weird. Well, what can I say? I mean, it's definitely going to be one for the record books either way. Even if we don't quite make it to the low 70s by some stretch of things changing last minute, still going to break records, because I think the record in Reading on Christmas Eve is only in the mid 60s, so that's easily going to, I think, be broken.
Yeah,
Allentown,
probably going to fall.
Yeah, and I believe Philadelphia's record is somewhere in the upper 60s. That's probably easily going to be destroyed. So I think pretty much every climate site is going to be gone.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of records set around the area for warmth.
Here's let's have one fun little contest here. I know a lot of TV stations do these contests where they have when the first inch of recordable snow is going to fall, and the grand prize is something like a snowblower or something. And my WNEP, which is my local ABC affiliate up where I live, they're like, we still got this this darn snowblower here, and we don't know when we're ever going to give it away. You want to, since you and I have a lot of fun wagering with temperatures, you want to wager when your first inch of snow finally is going to happen, and I'll give my date and you give yours, and we'll see what happens.
Well, I would probably stick with climatology, but I think you could pretty much throw all that out the window at this point.
Right.
It doesn't really seem to be much guidance in that term, because we should have seen our first
inch
snowfall
a while ago,
like early December.
Right.
I would probably think we won't be seeing any snow until late January.
Okay.
I'm going to say sometime around, I'll go with my mom's birthday, January 23rd.
All right, January 23rd for Dr. Davis. And I'm actually
Moms don't let you down,
There you go. And I'm actually going to be, usually I'm the one that gets really aggressive with the high temperatures and stuff, but I'm actually going to be a little more hopeful for you snow fans, and I'm going to say that January still stays above average, but we're going to get a couple cold shots and a storm here or there. I'll go with January 15th for an inch of snow. So we'll see.
So like a week before me.
Yeah. So I'll go January 15th, and maybe we'll have our first snow the first day back at classes, because that actually happened one year, and then they had to cancel the first day of classes. With the way this year is going, why not? Let's have snow.
I think if that's the case, then you and I would probably be about on both ends. And
so let's and then watch. We'll both be wrong, and it won't be until February or something. But we'll see.
Would I win then? Because I'm later?
You would win. You actually win. Yeah, because it'd be closer to you. The only way I would win is if it was the 15th or sooner. Like if we had like a January 6th or something, I guess. And of course, we've got to get Sooty the Weather Cat and Rossby the Weather Cat to officially certify and notarize the win, as they have in the past. So. Mm-hmm. All right, well there you have it, folks. Did you want to you had a little like weather trivia about or a little weather folklore you wanted to share before we go? Is a little bit of fun stuff for the holidays?
I recently came across an article online. It was talking about Old Man Winter and Jack Frost and how their personifications came about, and the whole idea of this male personification of winter has been around almost since antiquity, when you've had cultures that have been pretty much coming up with gods and goddesses that be ruling pretty much the elements of the world. Like ancient Greece, for example, they had pretty much every season and weather elements were sometimes personified by these sorts of beings. So like you've had the Greek seasons pretty much centering around the story of Demeter, the ruler of harvest, when daughter Persephone was kidnapped by Hades. She was then become so despondent that she could not take care of the lands, and winter overtook the land. And after the deal was struck with Hades, Persephone was then allowed to return to the earth for 6 months. Right. And then when she came back, that pretty much tied in with the earth being reborn in form of spring and in summer. And you've had the directions of the winds being personified with gods, like Boreas was the Greek god of the north wind. So now when you talk about things like the boreal forest, they refer to the forest up toward the Arctic. And you've also had other cultures like the Celtic cultures that looked at the Oak King, and he was considered a deity of winter solstice and is seen as a bringer of life. So instead of being a more cold and I guess evil type personification, you had more of this helping nurturer type, where the Oak King would battle the Holly King, who ruled the stars of summer, and through the Oak King's reign would begin the darkest time of the year, and gradually get more and more light going along with the solstice, and then got into summertime, and then the Holly King would be able to take over again, and then light would be less at that point. Right. And then even in Norse mythology, you had Uller, who's the god of winter, the son of the frost giant. He would rule Asgard in Odin's absence in the wintertime. And it was believed that he created northern lights to help compensate for the shorter daylight. And as time progressed, you had the ancient gods of winter became transformed into new personifications, such as the old gods riding across the lands, such as Old Man Winter, and then Russia's Father Frost. These personifications became more associated with winter season, evolving from the old world roots, figures in literature, and so forth. Jack Frost has been referenced in stories and songs since at least 1700s. He is typically viewed as a mischievous boy who bites the noses of people and gives them chills. And today, Jack Frost mythology has been even linked to some movies such as The Rise of the Guardians, games, comic books, but he's always been personified as the harbinger of cold and winter. So
where are you, for anybody that's interested, where are you getting all this from? Is this a good website that we can go to for this stuff?
Actually, AccuWeather. I got this from. So they did a whole historical aspects about culture, of climatology, of winter, and personifications of these deities and what they bring about for the winter season.
So
I can send you the link if you want to put it on the Facebook page, or
you can do that.
If you want to just Google AccuWeather and Old Man Winter or Winter Mythology. It'll probably be one of your first hits.
I guess without any true bona fide winter weather, we have to pretty much look at the mythology to, keep in the season of some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I tried.
There you go. All right, folks. Well, there you have it. Keep abreast of the weather on Monsoon Mike's Weather Headquarters on Facebook, and also Dr. Michael Davis's weather forecasts on Facebook. That's your page name, right? Dr. Michael
Correct.
Davis Weather Forecasts. And we'll probably see you again in early January. And maybe by then, we can see some real winter weather in the making in the future. Hopefully. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see exactly when it comes. I hope it's a little bit later, but...
Yeah, there you go. But at this point, I don't care who's right or wrong. I just want to get some winter weather because I'm getting a little antsy.
Agree.
I'm just getting a little antsy, but whatever.
70 degrees is nice, but I don't know if we really want it right before Christmas.
No. At least Christmas Day will be a little more seasonal. At least we won't have 72 degrees both days, but I'm still not nuts about it. But hey, weather's weather, and it is what it is. You can't change it. So.
Yep.
All right. Well, you have a safe holiday, sir, and we'll see you next year.
Same to you.
Okay.